If you're like me and you love sport bikes and you really have a hard time seeing yourself with any other type of motorcycle, but you want to do some motorcycle touring, well, that's kind of a problem, right? I mean, let's be honest, sport bikes really are just homologated race bikes with license plates, mirrors, and lights. I mean, you know, aside from like a really aggressive hardtail chopper with a 2.5 gallon peanut gas tank, there really isn't any worse platform for motorcycle touring that you could choose. Proper touring bike has all the amenities to make you comfortable on a long ride. Amazing wind protection, platforms to rest your feet on, highway pegs, large plush seats that conform to your ass. Sport bikes have none of that crap, man. I mean, they're horrible with wind protection. You have tiny little pegs and plywood seats barely big enough for you to sit on. Basically, sport bikes are kind of the complete opposite of what you want on a big tour. In the last couple of seasons, I have rode a total of just over 5,000 miles in 14 days on 3 separate trips on my 2015 ZX-10R. It surely is enough time on a ZX-10R to know what works and what doesn't work and what is really important to me when I do go on a motorcycle tour. All right, here's my list in order by priority of how I survive a long ride on a sport bike, whether it's a day trip, multi-day trip, however many miles, whatever the case may be. These are the most important things to me when I go on a sport bike road trip, motorcycle tour, whatever you want to call it. And first, let me say, before I give you, again, these are in priority, so number one is the most important to me. But before we get to number one, it was really super hard to choose between the top two because they're both so critical and important to me touring on a sport bike. You know, somebody had to be the winner, somebody had to come in second. But know that they're both like pretty much equally important to me. It's a marathon, people. It's not a sprint. You may be on a sport bike, but it's not a sprint. When you're going to go for multiple days on whatever your favorite crotch rocket is, it's important to have the right mindset right out of the gate. And you just got to keep telling yourself, dude, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So I think setting the tone mentally is critically important because, again, it's a marathon. The point is to enjoy the journey more than it is where you're going or how quickly you get there. All right, number 2 on my survive a sport bike road trip list is a throttle lock. If your bike does not have cruise control, by God, get yourself a throttle lock. A throttle lock is essentially what it sounds like. It's a poor man's version of cruise control. It locks the throttle tube into a fixed position. And I'm telling you now, on my 2015 ZX-10R, I would not go on a road trip. I'll just say it like this. I won't go on a road trip with a bike, any bike, that doesn't have cruise control or some kind of throttle lock system. Don't wear a backpack while you're riding. I'm not saying don't bring a backpack, but while you're riding, don't wear it. Learn to bungee cord it to the top of your tail bag, and life will be much happier. Crotch rockets don't have a lot of room to move forward and backward, and it's all by design. But if you have a large tail bag and you wear your backpack, in my case, the backpack kind of butted up against the tail bag and just restricted my forward and backward movement even more than it already was just being on a sport bike. I think it was day 3 of my first road trip with the ZX-10, and I just got completely fed up.
I'm gonna check my load. I'm not carrying my backpack anymore. I put it up onto the tail bag. She's looking solid so far. Might put another bungee on it. another bungee. Holy smokes! That's a lot of water.
I was so much happier once I bungee cored it to the top of the tail bag and continued the rest of day 3. Oh, it was just so nice. It felt like freedom. Planning routes for me is really as simple as going on the Google Maps and finding the most interesting looking roads between my starting point and my destination. Real quick example, on day 2 of my most recent adventure, I was in Delta, Colorado, and my destination for that day was Twin Lakes. The clear, obvious choice to get to Twin Lakes from Delta would have been Route 133 through Carbondale. And then in Carbondale, I could have picked up Route 82 through Woody Creek, Aspen, Colorado, and then eventually arrive at Twin Lakes. But then I saw the Grand Mesa, and I thought, you know what? That road looks awesome. There's really nothing worse than being stuck on a flat, straight stretch of interstate or highway with no scenery, being stuck at the same speed, feeling the same vibration, the same wind noise. That can really wear you down. So stretch exits are those kind of exits where you can get off and then right back on. No clover leaves, no intersections. We're out in the middle of nowhere, so there's no traffic. You don't lose a lot of time, but it's just a nice break from the monotony of a flat, straight interstate.
This is what I call a stretch exit. Oh my god. We're just gonna slow down, stretch.
It's actually pretty amazing how you can just take 30 seconds, a minute, get off of one of these nice straight exits where you can get right back onto the interstate and just stretch out, stand up on the pegs, stretch your hamstrings out, stretch your glutes out. Even if you want to, just pull over and just get off the bike for 30 seconds, a minute, and it is absolutely refreshing and will just keep you going. Those are my top 5 most important things when I go on a sport bike tour. Quick review. Marathon, not a sprint. That is number 1. Number 2, if you don't have cruise control, get a throttle lock. Number 3, don't wear your backpack, man. That can really wear you down. Strap it with bungee cords to your tail bag. Just find a way to get it on the bike without having to wear it while you're riding. Plan your routes. Find just a cool looking road that's not too far out of the way, and have fun with it, man. If you do get stuck with a bit of flat, straight interstate or highway, use the stretch exits, man, because just being stuck at that same speed with the same vibrations and wind noise, that can really wear you out mentally and physically. So use a stretch exits. You can, keep yourself fresh without losing really a whole lot of time. Some other really nice to haves are a USB charger. If you don't have one on your bike, they're pretty easy to install. You can get them off of eBay. Some of them come with covers in case you get caught in the rain. But being a motovlogger, not only do I need to charge my phone, you're on the road all day, but I need to charge my cameras. So it's really, really handy, and I use my USB charger quite a bit. The other thing is a phone mount. I use a quad lock. I've had it for a couple of years now. Really happy with it. I've used it on all of my road trips, and it's just nice to have. And not that you can sit there and stare at your phone while you're riding, but to have Google Maps up while you're trying to navigate an area where you're not familiar with, can be handy. So, all right, guys, that's the end of this video. Hopefully you guys find some of this useful, and keep the rubber side down. We'll see you in the next video. Happy touring.